how did you learn about being a home inspector? You know, you got to know the details. Where did you get all of your resources and knowledge from?
There was nothing available when I was a home inspector. So I was a home builder, so and in construction, so I knew everything about a home. And if you're in construction, you probably have a really good skill set to become a home inspector because you know how a home works, you know how things break, and you know how to fix them. If you don't have that knowledge, then you have to go to school and learn about that kind of stuff. And back then, there weren't any schools that were good. And there was some ashy stuff and some nahi stuff, but like it was just junk. And now there's one home inspector college on planet Earth. And that's where all people who want to go and learn about being a home inspector should go. You should go to somewhere that's accredited. So InterNACHI School is the only home inspector college. And that's something you can rely on and trust. So that's where I would go now. And we didn't have that back then. So the whole thing about InterNACHI is, part of it is making resources for our members that really didn't exist when I was a home inspector. And it's all online, and we try to make it as free as possible to members.
Yeah.
And one of them is getting that training that I didn't have. I didn't have any of that.
Right.
I didn't have all the great juicy stuff that InterNACHI has now.
Right.
We've got textbooks, we've got videos, we have certified master inspectors and videos, we have social media channels, we got all this stuff. And we didn't have any of that before. We were just really guessing. I would say probably my first 500 home inspections sucked because I really didn't know what I was doing. I was probably just learning on the job. And that's one way to get into the business. I mean, you just learn while you're serving clients and probably making a lot of mistakes. But you don't have to do that anymore. You can just go to a really good school, the Home Inspector College that we have, and learn. And when you graduate, you will have what you need to do a really great inspection.
So how did you get started in the home inspection industry initially?
I met a home inspector. I was a home builder for a bunch of years, and Nick, my brother, and I were building homes, and the bank inspector would come over and give us draws, which is like a big chunk of money so that you can build parts of your house that you're going to sell eventually. And he seemed like to have a cushy job. He was riding a Harley. He was being paid really well, and he wasn't getting dirty or sweaty or smashing his knuckles with hammers like my brother and I were. And so we thought, after we're done with this house, let's become home inspectors. It's much easier to make more money that way. Yeah, so to go from one job to another is really difficult. It takes, it's a big decision to jump, So I was a home builder, and I wanted to be a home inspector. So I had to make the decision to stop doing what I'm currently doing and change everything and become something else as quickly as possible. And you can only do that if you have, if you work really hard and save money, so that in that transition, you just live off your savings. And then when you make a decision to open up the new business, you can do that. You can survive that transition. And that's what we did. So to go from being a home builder to being a home inspector was really exciting. And we worked really hard.
And so is that your advice for somebody who's transitioning from, say, a builder, or they're a landscaper, or they're in the service industry in some other way? Would you recommend they go to InterNACHI and get certified while they're in their current industry and then transition?
Yeah, because let's say you're a master plumber or a master craftsman, or you know how to build a house already. It's a completely different animal to inspect a house. To be a home inspector is really weird. You have to not use your hands in anything. You can't touch anything. So imagine me if I got my hands and I tied them behind my back and I walked through a home and I just communicated with my mouth my observations. That's what a home inspection is. It's totally different for a contractor. Contractor wants to look at something and be like, well, let's cut it open and let's see what's in that wall.
Right.
You can't do that as a home inspector. Mm-hmm. It's really weird. It's a weird job. Mm-hmm. So it's just a lot of fun being a home inspector.
Your clients are relying on you for a good inspection report and for you to be able to inspect the house fully so that, they don't have to pay for it down the line if you miss something really important in the house.
Yeah, there's 2 reasons you would get a home inspection. If you're a renter, you should get your home inspection, just to complain to the landlord to fix stuff. Because landlords, they need to know. They're not in the home, so you need to tell them what's wrong with the home. It'd be a really good idea if you're a renter in an apartment, even if it's brand new, have a home inspection brand new stoves, gas-fired stoves, fail. They give off carbon monoxide. So if you're a buyer, you don't know what you're looking for, right? You don't know what is being painted over. You don't know what's being hidden. So you need this professional to come in and tell you that everything's okay. Or maybe something is a little wrong, but you can move in and fix it later, right? Or maybe there's something really serious, and let's take a second look at it. Let me show you what it is. You make a decision. Maybe it's financial. Like you said, like they're going to give you some money back to fix that, or they're going to knock the price down. So you can save some money in that way. No matter who you are, whether you're a home buyer, a home seller, or a renter, or a building owner, knowledge is power. If you know the condition of the home or building, then you have incredible power. You have something that no one else has. And a home inspector can give you that by walking around and telling you information that no one else can tell you. There's no one else on the planet. You can't do AI. AI can't do this. A robot can't come in and do what a home inspector does. This is a unique professional that is a third-party neutral professional too. So the information that I give to my clients as a home inspector, I write a report, you can trust it because I am not in the business of fixing anything. So if I pull up to a home inspection and I tell you that, man, all of your windows are leaking, they're rotted, and it's a really bad situation with like a dozen windows. They all got to be replaced, you know. I didn't pull up with a dozen windows in my truck. I tell you the windows are shot, and then I leave. It's up to you to apply that knowledge now and get things done. And that's what a home inspector does. It's really amazing. I think every home should be inspected. I think every home and building should be inspected and give that information to someone who really needs it. The occupant, so that they know they're safe, or the building owner, or the buyer, or the seller, so that they don't have to negotiate, you know, during the real estate transaction. They fix the stuff that's wrong, and then they sell a really nice home.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're doing a home inspection, are you only doing home inspections for people who just bought houses, or do you do it annually or every few years?
Yep. All of that. All of that. If you're buying a home, selling a home, you should get it. But when I was a home inspector, I would schedule 3 inspections. When I would schedule 1, you should be scheduling at least 3. The home inspection, to do a home inspection for my buyer client. After they move in and live in it for about a year, I'll come back and do like a annual maintenance inspection, a checkup. And also in between there's closing. So if you buy the home, then like a couple weeks later, you close. Just before that, get a home inspection. So I would schedule a $400 home inspection, a $50 closing inspection, and a $150 annual maintenance inspection.
So you become a home inspector with your brother, Nick Gromicko.
Yeah.
And how do you go from home inspector to beginning InterNACHI? Yeah.
We were home inspectors, and for the first year, real estate agents kept asking us if we were members of ASHI. I was a member of ASHI for a while.
Were you?
And we all make mistakes. And they kept asking me, am I a member of ASHI? And I'm like, Nick, the founder of InterNACHI. Like, Nick, they keep asking us, like, are we something of ASHI? I don't even know what's going on. We were so new and green. We didn't even know what was going on. And we'll just start saying yes. And then let's look into what it's like to be a member of ASHI. So we look it up, and it's $550 to be a member of ASHI, and you pay them, and you get nothing back. But you could say, I'm a member of ASHI. So Nick goes, oh, well, we don't want to do that. Let's just join an organization that's like, you know, free or cheap. And there wasn't one. And he goes, well, let's just start our own organization then. What are we going to call it? We'll call it the National Association of Certified Home Inspectors. And we'll start it today. And when people ask us, are you a member of this organization? We'll say, yeah, we're a member of that organization. We're a member of NACHI. And it sounds like ASHI, but it's, you know, NACHI, completely different spelling.
Right.
Different organization.
Right.
And that's what we did. So we were in the basement of his townhouse in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. And I remember the day. It was a whiteboard on the wall. And Nick goes, we're going to create an organization for home inspectors. You know, we're going to be the first members, obviously. And I said, well, what's the name of it? And he goes, NACHI. And I goes, what's that stand for? He goes, National Association of Certified Home Inspectors. I said, that's brilliant. Let's do it. And so we started it.
I love that.
Yeah. And I was dating someone, Alicia Gromicko, and then I married her. And then she started working at InterNACHI. And because for the first few years, NACHI was just this slow growing organization that we hardly had anybody join. But we always had an idea that this would be really great. Alicia she was the very first cold caller. And a cold call is a terrible sales job, a salesperson's job. She would get phone numbers out of the yellow pages of all the home inspectors that were listed. And she would call each one and say, "Hi, this is Alicia from Natchez. Can I fax you some information about joining our organization?" And they'd say yes or no, or hang up or something like that. And then she would unplug the phone from the wall and then plug in a fax machine and then feed in 3 sheets of information about Natchez and try to sell members. So she was the first person to be on sales at InterNatchez now. In 2006, we went international. Yeah, InterNatchez has everything you need to be successful. It has everything you need. I didn't have that. We didn't have that 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything. We were making up the answer to the question, are you a member of an organization? We were like, yeah, sure. We didn't have any resources. There wasn't any really good organization for home inspectors that provided the training, the certification, the continuing education, the licensing help, the marketing, the business resources. There was nothing like that. InterNatchez has so much for any individual who was interested in becoming a home inspector to be really successful. Back then, 30 years ago, I used to write the reports by hand, my hand. At the end of the day, my fingers were like this because writing with a pen. And I'd have to press through, they were called NCR forms. You'd have to write on the top page, but press hard enough through your pen to press through 2 more so that you can rip this page off. That's for your client. Rip this page off. That copy is for the real estate agent. And the terrible copy that you can barely read because you didn't press hard enough, that's your copy. Yeah. And that was the home inspection report.
Right.
And it was check marks. And then you write something and it was like 12 pages that staple it. That's what you gave. Yeah. That was so dumb back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have software.
Right.
Of course, if you're going to be in business doing this visual inspection stuff, you need software. So you have to, that's leveraging, software to do things that you don't have to do by hand anymore.
So say I decide to join InterNatchez, what do I do first since there's so many resources and so many places to start? Where do I go first?
That's my apology to you. Because we have so much to offer.
Right.
It's almost like we choke people who join InterNatchez with so many things.
Right.
InterNatchez is like an amusement park where there's a door to go to the amusement park and there's a fee. There's one fee. It's a monthly fee or a yearly fee and you're in. Okay. Now, when you go to an amusement park, there's like 1,000 rides, right? And where do you go? They give you a map.
Right.
Like, and it's this big. It's folded out, right? And really all I want to do right now is like catch my breath and maybe get some French fries and figure out where to go first, right? And we have that. We have a member services team that does their absolute best. It's headed by Lisa. And we get every member and ask them, okay, where are you in your life, right? Like, and where do you want to go? And we try to give you that map of where you want to go. A lot of people come in and they're full blast. They have an empire of inspectors, that big team of 50 inspectors, right? And they want to just boost their business to the next level, right? And so that's a different conversation than the new person who was a math teacher and lost their job and now they want to go into the inspection business.
Right.
And one of the roles that I do is I try to help that person personally. Mm-hmm. So that person who is kind of like, where do I go first? Like you said, like I'll try to step in and actually handhold them through the process.
Right.
You can make a lot of money being a home inspector. And there's 15 steps and we got them. And I know that there's 15 steps. There ain't 16, there ain't 14 because I don't know how many tens of thousands of inspectors we've trained through this process. And it works. If you do all 15 steps, you got it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people can't make it to step 6, right? Run out of time, run out of will. They're just not interested anymore. Or they got a job. They got the teacher job, came back, But most of the people who come into this amusement park of benefits, you can ride any ride you want for $49 and go anywhere you want. That could be overwhelming, but if you do the 15 steps, you're going to be really successful.
And how important is it to be a certified home inspector versus not being certified? What kind of credibility does that give you when you're talking to clients?
Yeah. It means the world of difference. Like if you ask somebody, what if you hire a doctor who got trained somewhere, or a doctor who actually has a certificate on the wall, right? With a date and a stamp from a college. You probably go with that person.
Right.
So it's about credibility. And if you're brand new, this is probably one of the pillars that your entire company rests upon. There's like three things. If you think of a three-legged stool, there's three things that your business relies on. And one of them is credibility. And if you are found incredible, no, not credible, not trustworthy, you'll never get a job.
Right.
And the easiest way to gain credibility is to borrow InterNACHI's trust. That means InterNACHI, this world's largest organization of home inspectors, we trained and certified this individual. We put a certification stamp on him. Now, that individual takes that certification stamp and goes, look, trust me. InterNACHI, you're just essentially borrowing InterNACHI's trust. We trusted you. Now you're telling other people, trust us.
Right.
And that's how important getting certified is. Even if you're in a state or province that licenses home inspectors, a license, you do whatever the state requires. You take education, you take the state exam, you get insurance, you do all that stuff. You pay the state a fee, and you get your license. Yay! Now you have the same thing, same credibility stamp that 10,000 other people have,
Right.
and it means nothing. As soon as you get your license, I'm a licensed home inspector in a couple states. Like I have a Florida home inspector license. I essentially just threw it away. It's worthless. It's absolutely worthless. So what it means is the state is saying that you have met the absolute legal minimum requirements to do your profession. What a low freaking bar that is. Like if you went any lower, you'd be criminal, right? You're just above being a criminal. Like this, here's criminal doing home inspection, and then here's you because you have a license. License, criminal. Like it's just real close.
Right.
So what do you want to do to become something different than a criminal almost? Is you want to get as far away from the absolute minimum legal requirements. You want to throw away that license, and it's all about marketing yourself. You want to market your certifications. You want to get certified, not in home inspections, but in addition to home inspections, you want to get certified in mold, radon, termite, pool, infrared, and build all of that certification up so that you look like you're credible
Right.
and trustworthy.
Right.
And then it's all about marketing after that.
Right.
And what a home inspector should do almost immediately after joining InterNACHI and getting trained and learning about home inspections is start working on their marketing and developing a website. Because when you develop a website, you're forced to do a mental exercise about why I should be hired. Why should I be hired? Because I'm a home inspector? There's 10,000 other home inspectors. Because I'm licensed? Everyone else is holding a license. Oh, because I have a logo. Maybe I'm certified. That's pretty good. But what about the other certified home inspectors? What makes you different from all the rest, right? And if you have a website, you're going to work on that. You're going to work on not just being trained and certified, but how do you market the real reason why I should hire you? If they're the best home inspector in town, they can demand higher prices and they can make more money. And that website is really important. Think of the website also as one of your first employees. And this employee, you pay them about $1 a day. That's it. And this employee has one job. That is to convert people who visit your website into scheduled clients. And this employee works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at $1 a day. That's about all you should pay this employee. If you're paying more than $1 a day, you are paying this employee too much. You should go to InterNACHI. We have an official vendor for website designs, and you'll find that it's about $1 a day. And your website should be converting website visitors into clients. And you should have a system in place where you can actually measure the work performance of that employee. So you should have a dashboard for your employee to tell you, hey, this is how many people visited the website, and this is how many people I converted into a scheduled client. Do I still keep my job? Right? And you'd be like, yeah, here's another $1. See you tomorrow. Okay. You're leveraging that person, that employee, to do that work for you because you don't want to do it yourself. You want to go to sleep. That employee is working all the time doing that. And the next day you wake up, or maybe it's one day a week. You pick one day a week, Sunday morning, and you see how your employee is performing. And that's called website analytics. You get to see if the work performance of that employee is good enough. And if it isn't good enough, then you're wasting money. You need to fire that employee and hire a new one. And the best advice I would say for a new home inspector is to go to InterNACHI's official vendor for website designs, because they will design a website that's affordable, that works 24/7, and you can measure whether that employee is doing their job at about $1 a day. It's a really good service. Yeah.
So, do you have any other hobbies other than certifying and training home inspectors and making them successful?
No,